Welcome to Mechs on Deck. It's Monday.
You've been busy, man.
I've
It's not
been
even
busy.
Monday for you.
I've been busy. Yeah, I haven't had like an actual day off since not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before or Sunday before that. But it feels like I haven't streamed in so long.
Dude, you streamed yesterday. Come on.
I did stream for 5 minutes yesterday. If you don't know, the reason why I didn't have also Jack Statics AO. Thank you for the tier 1 for 7 months. We really appreciate that. I was working an Overwatch event, the Dallas homestand, the opening matches this past weekend, and I had to set up a streaming booth.
TC versus Mod Overwatch.
We were literally just talking about that. Like we said the last thing about it, and then we're like, okay, let's go live. Top clack.
Yeah, we are definitely down.
We're down 100%.
We can do like actual like
Best of
Overwatch
5
League rules. The first to 3 will follow the map pool and everything. That would be a lot of fun. Definitely am down for that. But yeah, it was a crazy weekend. How was your weekend, Chewy?
It was good. It was relaxing. Fortunately, I have bursts of insomnia and just didn't sleep last night. Was wide awake all night. So today was a long and rough day, but other than that, it was good. Got some new stuff in though that I'm excited to talk about. But first, before we get into mail call, Zap Cables makes some of the best cables in the business, if not the best cables in the business. And he's currently, I think he's got the Fruit Loops coiled cables, the Fruit Loops cables. So be sure to go check out the Fruit Loops cables, as well as some awesome desk mats. I was talking with Zap today about how the tournament doesn't have the Zap desk mats. Doesn't have any of the Zap desk mats. And I was like, you know what, man? It's okay, because yours would have won. So like, why, you don't put Michael Jordan in a one-on-one tournament against high schoolers. Like, you just just leave him out. So
Well,
but yeah, go.
what was funny, that just brought up, I was watching YouTube the other day and there was a video of a Bulls player that had been like, I can 1v1 Michael Jordan like the year after he retired. And just to show him up, Michael Jordan came back to a practice, was like, let's go, and then beat him like 12-3 in a one-on-one, and was like, don't ever call me out again, and just walked out.
So, fun fact, if we're on Michael Jordan facts, Hype Train, level 1.
94%, just a little bit.
Heck yeah.
I don't even really know what happens in these.
I've never done Hype Train. I don't even know what it is. But he when he bought the Charlotte Bobcats, he one-on-one to every single player on the team and beat him by at least 3. As an owner who's like in his late 40s. Although that's, to be fair, the Bobcats were terrible. Anyway, moving on from Michael Jordan, you can go check out Project Keyboards. They've got GMK Perestroika out right now. It's a great looking set. Siriuses are on the way. I know there are delays obviously across the entire community due to the coronavirus outbreak. So just keep your patience in mind of the fact, keep your patience in check, because unfortunately that is something that has affected a lot of people, and our hobby definitely got hit by it. So, but more serious boards to come, and GMK Perestroika.
Yeah, and with that, he's doing a giveaway where if you buy Perestroika, you can enter. He released a Google form today where you can enter to win a free Profit keyboard. So that's pretty cool. You just have to put your order number in, and there's a Google form you got to fill out. But pretty freaking sweet. So if you are getting Perestroika, please use our link and then enter that giveaway, because everyone wants a free keyboard. I want a free keyboard.
Everybody likes free stuff.
And then next up, we've got switchmod.net, you can go to switchmod.net/Mechs on deck. Get 4% off everything that's in stock. He's got some T60s left. He's got fresh restock of 205 grade 0 and the 3204. Now he's still out of stock of 3203, but he's got those two. So if you were looking to get some lube, go check that out. And then last but not least, the big push, mechsondeck.dixiemech.com. Check out Modern Dolch Light, and then more importantly, fill out your brackets for Mech Madness. You've got, what is it? 20 days left almost.
20 days?
19 days.
Yeah, 19 days. So almost 3 weeks.
Yeah. So you got 19 days left to fill out your brackets. Get them input. You can win free key cult board. You can win a Bauer with a whole bunch of with a full set of brass keycaps. There's tons of stuff you can win. So fill out your brackets. And we were talking about maybe showing our brackets, but we think we don't want to influence other people's brackets by releasing ours. We want ours to be a surprise.
Big brains. I might release my first round of desk mats.
I feel like that'd probably be okay.
So anyway, but yeah, thank you guys. And we got some fun mail. I got some cool mail. I think you got some cooler mail this week. So I'll go first, if you don't mind.
Sure. Before we do that, quick shout out, Rick Clack. Thank you for the 7 months Prime sub, and Make Nova for the 69 bits.
Also, shout out to Willio70.
Dude,
happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Willio. Love you, my dude. Hope you had a great birthday. Sure, I'll be seeing you soon.
If he is here in the chat, I don't know if he is or not, but give him that birthday shout out. So
anyway, I'm sure he'll catch the VOD if he's not here. Feels birthday man. All right, Chewy. What you got for us?
All right, so fun thing. I got this from someone in our Discord. Little Ambassador, the Holy Panda variety. I really like these. These are from CYO Caps. He does great work. So I'm trying to fill out the yep, there it is. I don't know if I can say who it is. I don't know if they want to, but if they are in chat and they want to reveal themselves, they can. But I'm trying to get 3 ambassadors for, it was Stash. So thank you, Stash, for that. I'm trying to get my Alice to have some cool ambassadors on him, as I feel like I'm starting to slip. Anyway, I need help. Next thing up, which we'll talk about today. It's focusing on my hand. There we go. Lilac switches. I like to call them lilac tiles because it's a funny name. But it's doing a rough job. Let me see if I can hold it up against something else that shows off how purple it is. They're pretty purple though. Like the housing is a very, very purple. It's very similar to Taro. And we'll talk about these. I'll save that for these. But I got the delivery guy was incredibly hot. He was probably the most attractive delivery man I've ever seen in my life. So that's your answer, Rick. But yeah, I only got 20 of them in because I realized in getting the original one, I was like, I might want these for a TKL that's coming in soon. So I need more than 70. So, but that is it. I've got a lot of cool stuff coming this week that I'll show off next week, though.
Nice. All right. Well, we'll take a trip on over to my camera.
Sorry.
All right. So I got Olive, which I've really only opened because last week was crazy at work. So I had a busy week at work because someone on my team got the flu, so I had to pick up some extra slack there. Didn't get a chance to pick up Olive, even though it came in Monday until Friday. So I just really opened this on Friday, and then I left to go to the Overwatch thing, and I was gone for literally the entire weekend until about 10 p.m. last night. So this is a little live unboxing, more or less. I know y'all have probably seen it, but my gosh. Olive.
It looks beautiful. I'm excited to see it in person, but it looks like it's going to be a set that photographs really well. I watched shout out to IMEURU. I watched him put it on his Austin, and it looked fantastic.
The olive accent keys make me wish there were more. Like, it's such a beautiful shade of green.
Did you get space bars?
I did not get space bars. I might, though. We'll see. They still have them, I think. If not, I'm not going to. No sweat, but maybe. I do wish, but this is with everything. I wish that the cream was creamier. It's the only thing.
They do have them in stock. You should buy them during the stream.
No, I'm good. Wait. But yes, I'm very excited.
Last time we waited. Sorry, keep interrupting you.
Also, the back of this, the little hi. Boom. I think this looks great.
He.
But no, very excited for that. That's all the mail I have. We can go back
Solid
to
mail.
Hey, and we're back.
We're back. We're back, baby. So today we're going to be talking about Lilac switches are going to be on the menu. We're talking about new switches. 2019, kind of this was the end of 2019 and the start of 2020. I think a lot of things kind of get lumped, like November, December releases of stuff just kind of get lumped into the 2020. But 2020 is starting out in the right direction, which is new switches. We're going to start seeing a lot more boards come out. I've seen a lot of interest checks for boards, so obviously that's something we don't need any more keycap interest checks. We've got so many all the time that whenever they go in caps that go into group buy that are like, this is in group buy, I'm like, I see. That's not a thing towards like the interest check. That's just there are so many. But caps have to go on something. So we've got the mauve and the lilac switches that have come out recently. We've got the alpaca switches that have come out recently. The new I've got sherbet switches that came out. I haven't gotten a chance to try those yet. As well as we've got the Zeal clickies, which I think are a highly anticipated switch. So we're starting to see a lot of cool new things and a lot of people really enjoying these new things, because you never want that side of the community to get stale where it's like, what are you actually typing?
Yeah. I'm getting a little bit of a flashback to like the box switch craze, right? Like when everything came out, like all within, it felt like 3 months we went from having just regular, the standard line of box switches, your whites, your blacks, your reds. We had all those, and then all of a sudden it was like, boom, Novel Keys had everything, and then there was the Heikos, and they just innovated over and over again. It's really cool to see all these new options. My only thing is some of them I'm like, do we really need this?
Yeah, and then and the other thing worth touching in on is we're starting to see, this is something that I'm like, if you want to buy it, sure, but just the same switch, but it now matches a keycap set. I'm like, I don't get it, but like if you're gonna do something like that, make a change. Nolives did it correctly. They put in a different spring and offered it as a different switch with a different color. If you were making the exact same switch but just changing the color, That's personal. That's personal. What? Sure. You know what? If it gets more switches out there, why not? If people want it, why not? Not for me.
Yeah. It's just crazy. Like someone mentioned the Everglide switches. Like one day on Novel Keys, he just put up 7 new SKUs of switches. There's literally 7 options for the Everglide switches. And it's like, and they're all $5 for 10. They're 50 cents a piece. It's like, holy crap. And like just looking at their website, we've got the Everglide switches, that's 7. The Sherberts, the box crystals, which are, it's 4 options. They're the same switch, but they have actual legs on them, the PCB mount legs, which is awesome.
Amazing.
What else has he got? The TTC golds are a little bit older, but they're still fairly new. Yeah. And I think, is that it? That's about it.
It's 15 switches.
Yeah.
Plus different Yaks coming out. The Yak purple. The purple trash pandas.
Yeah. Yeah. That, I mean,
those came out around this. Well, those came out around the same time as the TTC gold. So, but yeah, it's funny to me that like, so when we, you know, we were both in the hobby and we both built like our box switches and after that craze, but when we were like, okay, let's really punish our wallets and dive deep into the hobby. At that specific time, there really wasn't much because the box gate had just happened. Holy Pandas were $4 a pop and not worth it. And I remember what's funny is I remember Cyrus being like, dude, don't be stupid and buy a Holy. I was like, I'm not going to. No Switch is worth $4 a pop. Still believe that. But the back then it was either Zelios or find some retooled blacks, or if you want linears, Telios kind of ran the world. So, I mean, Zeal had them, and then they were releasing the V2, so it was like all Zeal everywhere. Yeah. And once the Holy Panda craze came in, it was like Holy Pandas hit, then Creams hit, and that was kind of it for like the first half of 2019. And then Inks kind of took over. So I'm like, what's you can kind of go through the phases of our hobby by like what was one of the most popular switches, and I'm excited to see moving forward from now what's going to be the most popular switch, because it's forcing people to be innovative and to try new things, and that's how we're going to get some cool switches.
Yeah, and I think what's the really cool part about all this and what we're kind of seeing right now with the Duroc, the Everglide stuff, I know that there is some people are questionable, like there are some questionable things that have transpired in how the switches became what they are. Whether or not they're stolen designs or things, that's not really for us as doesn't really necessarily matter to us. If you don't support that, you don't want to support that, don't. Other than that, if you want to get some switches that are pretty dang good for pretty cheap, try them out. If you like them, pick up more. It's cool to see that happen at the price points that we are. Mm-hmm. Like the box crystals. One of the biggest things that I felt like was holding the entire like kale market down and the box switches down was not having PCB mount legs. Like there's been multiple times where I'm like, I really want to build a box, like a box Jade or a box Royal build. And I'm like, you know what? But I don't, because I don't want to have to sit there for 30 minutes fiddling, making sure that all the rows are perfectly straight. I don't want to, like, I would take that time, but I don't have to if I can get this other switch that's just as good. Or maybe it's a little bit different and I like it just as much. I think it's just really cool that you have these offerings that are doing that. And I think the innovation with clicky switches is something that we we were hoping for
Mhm.
late last year. We were talking about how we really wanted to see a little bit more innovation with clickies, and we wanted them to come back. And we have the Sherberts, which I have not tried yet. You haven't tried yet either.
I need to pick some up. I might even just buy like 10 and just try
Yeah.
them like in the the closest thing. I don't have a tester board right now. I need to pick up I need to get a PCB for it, but like the closest thing I have to a tester board is my Bento Nano. So it's just one of those it's one of those things where I want to be able to try these, but I also want to try them on a full size board. But I just need to I feel like there's like 10 switches I need to grab a few of and throw. Like, I'm pretty confident that, while yes, you cannot get the full experience of typing on a switch tester, I'm pretty confident at this point in my ability to put something next to a bunch of other things and try them and compare them to something that I already know. But the issue with the clickies is that's an entirely different switch. The sound is going to be very different. The feel is going to be very different. If it's a thicker click bar, it's going to be very tactile. And so it's just one of those things that I'm like, I don't really know what I would put it in, because that's the other issues. It's like, well, it's clicky, so do I want to spend all that money to try it? New cam from Chewy. Nope. Just messed with the settings. So, but yeah, and then I know the box crystal PCB. I've heard mixed. I've heard that some people don't have issues. I've heard some do have issues. I think a lot of it could be on a PCB, on a different PCB basis. So,
And I mean, even then, even if they are a little bit looser than normal, it's still
better.
It's still better. Like, it's still more secure. Like, you can feel better if you're putting it in a hot swap board. You just want to try them out. You can still feel better about your switches being more secure in the plate than they would be if they didn't have the legs at all. And the other thing that's cool too is that even Zeal, right? We're on the cusp of his clicky switch coming out. I'm not sure the exact release date, but these teased it a ton. But he's been innovating on the designs that he's used for a little over a year now, about a year and a half since the V2s came out, with the Aqua Xylants and the Turquoise Telios. And I think that this is kind of all like direct, impact from these other switches that are coming out at lower prices that people love, like inks.
I would say the Aqua Xylants and the turquoise, especially the Turquoise Telios, is a direct response to Gateron,
which is funny because it's the same company.
Because it's the same thing, but yeah. So right there, is one of those things where it's like, that's what we want. We get more stuff. We get cooler stuff. Telios, that colored housing is going to dampen some of that plasticky sound. It's going to change it. Like people, that's why people like Gateron inks, because the smoky housing makes it sound just a little bit better than Telios, which I've been very open about. Telios and Zelios, while they feel great, the sound leads something to be desired if you are someone who likes the sound of keyboards.
Yeah, I mean, that was like one of the main reasons why the Zyko was made, right? Like,
it was to improve the sound of a holy Zelio. So, I mean, and I've got this board right here. It's got Zelios. I love Zelio. They feel amazing, but they're not my favorite switch. Do you think at some point we will reach a peak in terms of innovation? For people will probably always find a way to innovate. Something will change. Things will always find a way to change. I think the one thing that's limiting is you are limited to what you can put in a PCB and what you can put in a plate. And so unless you release stuff for that, it's harder to innovate, and then it's harder to go, hey, all those boards you love, you can't use them with these. So that's what, because the silo switches was something that a lot of people were excited for, but they're like, oh, but you can only use them on certain things on these specific boards. And it's like, well, if I don't like that board and I don't like that layout, I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, I think in terms of like a lot of things, like, well, like since we're talking about switches, I think they will always find it's going to be a while before we can get to like what would be peak, and I don't think we'll ever actually know that we're at peak until someone tries to go further and it just completely fails, right? Like, because what we're doing right now is we're honing in on certain pieces and making those materials better, right? Like these, for instance, the Oompa Loompa stems, the UHMWPE stems. That's experimenting with a new material for stems to see if it's something that is better over time, if it is smoother than what we are currently using, which is typically, I mean, some people use
palm, some people use, I don't actually I don't know what like zeal stems are made of. I'm not gonna some sort of plastic material.
Yeah, we're experimenting with different plastics. We're experimenting with the makeup of said plastics.
Actually, I think a lot of them are made of. I think a lot of them are made of palm because the whole point of creams was that why not make the housing the same as the stem?
Yeah, it's like palm stem with a polycarbonate housing.
Yeah. So, Top Clock, to answer your question, yeah, palm stem all made from palm. Do you feel that Telios sound bad 100% of the time, or do you think that it might be more of a combination of all parts and loops, etc.? Telios can sound fine. Telios, to me, they have a ceiling of how good they can sound. So, like, my favorite linear switch based on sound alone is Creams, and no Telio will ever make me feel, unless I can hear like a spring crunch. If you treat a Telio and a Cream the same way, a Telio will never be better in terms of sound quality. So I think it's just the type of that, and that's once again that's also a preference. That's a personal preference of mine.
I think that personally, I think Telios sound best in non brass plates personally, because I think part of the reason why I don't like the way Telios sound is because they can be very harsh sounding. They don't have the quite, like, the reason why I think we both like Creams so much is because they're thocky, right? Like they have a little bit deeper of a sound because of the housing. With the polycarbonate housing for the Zelios and a brass plate, it's very pingy. But if you were putting it in something like a Sirius or maybe even a polycarb plate, you don't have as much of that ping, so they sound a little bit better for what I like and the switches to sound. But I agree. Yeah, it's definitely the sum of all of the parts. I definitely would agree. But I feel like there are some switches you put in everything that sound pretty dang good in everything. And I don't think Telios are necessarily the one. I think you kind of have to build, if you're looking for sound, you kind of have to build around the switch more so than others.
So, and I think, and that's why, like, you look at, I've been saying this probably since day one, or at least the first time we talked about switches on this channel. The reason I like Holy Pandas more than Zelio, while I like the feel of Zelios more, Holy Pandas sounds so much better because it's just that thocky, like it's very pronounced and robust, and I love Zelio V. Zelio V2s to me was one of the best switches, and I remember typing on Holy Pandas for the first time, and I was like, "Wow, this sounds great. This feels very similar to a Zelio V2. Like, I think they did a fantastic job in the side by side, but they just, I mean, sound is a big thing. And if you don't care about sound, then do whatever you got. Obviously, go for feeling. And Telios are great feeling switches. They feel fantastic. I haven't tried the turquoise Telios yet, but I imagine They're just the same. Zelios, they feel amazing. But sound wise, I will say though, I like the sound of the space bar.
Yeah, the space bar is definitely.
I'm okay with this. So
It's not quite as like throwing it down.
And those are lubed with 3204, which is going to dampen that sound.
Yeah. There was some pretty bad QC. Yeah, I think the turquoise, they have the new plastic composition, which is I'm excited to try out. I think the QC issues for all of these switches, like if there is issues in the batches, it's gonna get fixed, right? Like the very first set of inks had the opposite problem that people are having with the crystals right now, right? Like there were some PCBs you literally could not use them on unless you clipped the legs off because the legs were so fat that they would just not go in.
I want to say Mod M's had the same problem. The mod switches that were like all the rave a long time ago.
Yeah, the mod switches, that's a switch that I haven't heard about in forever, but is still sold.
They're still sold. They're just, to me, they're overpriced for what you can get. So one of these new, we haven't tried switches yet, but I am hearing good things. But so the lilac or the lilac tile, I will always call them the lilac tiles. In first impression, I was like, okay, it's got a decent bump. Now I haven't typed on a board. So this is just first impression throwing in a switch tester, and I've done one modification and then swapped it back. I tried it with a 78 gram spring because homeboy does not like weak springs. Very, very similar to a Holy Panda.
Really?
Very, that bump. It's in between. I would say if there's like Holy Panda and a Zelio V1.
Okay.
It's closer to the Holy Panda than it is, but it is kind of it's not 100% there, but it's very close. I think I'm excited to be able. I'm definitely going to throw. I'm excited to try these out. I haven't lubed them at all. They're very smooth though. Like just feeling them, they are incredibly smooth. I don't know much other than Project Keyboards and Canon Keys sold them. I don't know if you can still go get them, but
the lilacs are still available on Project Keyboard's website.
Nice.
But the mauves are sold out.
So that sounds about right. I'm very excited to try that on a board. I'll have to think up a reason to get the the Instant 60 and throw these in because I'm impressed. And if you want something that the housing, I don't know about the housings yet. Wobbly it's going to feel, but they're not that expensive. And I think this is going to be one of those. I just Googled the word lilac because that's going to help me. I think that's going to be I think this switch is going to change some things up, shift the meta,
so
if you will.
So are they, because I have a build with T1s. I think it's right here. These are stock T1s. This is my second serious plate, and I do not like them at all. Well, not at all.
Compared to a T1, I like these more.
So, because they are manufactured by Duroc, I would assume it's the same thing, right? Like, it's a similar thing, but
it's a nylon house. which makes me think these are just recolored koalas.
Yeah. I would assume it'd be recolored koalas, but it also makes me wonder, is Duroc, are they making small changes to their manufacturing process to tighten up tolerances to make it better? Because one of the big things that people always say about a T1 is that you have to film it to get it to its peak performance, right? Like if you film it and you lube it, they're amazing. Especially for the price, right? Like films and lube, like realistically you're going to lube whatever you want, but films are not that expensive. Still keeps the cost down. It's nowhere near what a Holy Panda is, or a Zelio V2, and it's just as good, if not close. So I'm interested to see how those would be filmed, and I cannot wait to get mine.
Yeah,
to try them out.
So, and then the last thing about these is I'm curious to see what people, because one thing, this is kind of an overarching thing about this entire conversation, is the more switches come out, the more people can fuck around and make Frankenswitches and make something awesome. And that's another thing that I'm excited to try, is bust these bad boys open, try the stems and everything, try every other stem in these, and just have a fun old party, because I urge everyone to experiment and just try something new, try something different. That stem could be amazing. It could be better in a Panda housing. It could be the greatest switch of all time in a Zelio house. We were talking about Lilac switches. So, you know, the mauves, I've heard they're very smooth. I've heard they sound very good. It being a nylon housing is going to, excuse me, it's going to give it a thockier sound, which I think is something a lot of people are going to really appreciate.
Yeah. I mean, when you take something from, when you just change up any of the plastic makeup at all, like even if you know, like what Zeal is doing, it's going to change the way the Switch feels, the way it sounds, messes with densities a little bit, changes the way that it affects the Switch. One thing that I'm interested to see, what does the 78 gram stem from a Zelio V2 look like in the purple housing? Because if it's a perfect match,
it's not perfect.
Or if it's
I can
close.
tell you right now, but here, I'll make that switch right now. So next up of the switches that have come out are the alpacas. So alpacas, another solid switch. They were sold. I don't know if they were sold anywhere else.
It was Prime KB was the main place, but I think they are just about the same as the mauves. I don't know if there's any difference. It might be
that was my assumption, and then the fact that alpacas had the option. Oh shit! This is so close. Good lord. Come on. Come on.
All I'm saying is,
come on.
Here, let me make you big real quick.
Focus. Not working. Good lord. Something better.
You just backle just a little bit. There you go.
That is a Zelio 78 gram stem inside of Lilac tile housing.
That is like, if
very purple.
You know, when you're talking about trying to,
feels good, by the way.
This is exactly what happens. If you're trying to go for like a violent tendencies, or like if you've got one of those purple set, like I think First Love is shipping soon. The next
Taro's coming out next month.
Yeah. Well, I think that they're meant to be with Taro already.
Oh.
It's with the standard, but Moon Dust as well right now. That looks pretty good, and I'm interested to see how they feel in terms of versus that stem versus the actual stem
Yeah,
that
we're
they come with.
just trying them all out. You know what? Let's throw the stem into a Zyko, or let's change the top of a Zyko. Call them Lycos.
Like us.
Boom.
Chewie's over here experimenting.
Hey, you know, why not? All right, and they go on easier, so that's nice. Here's a had a Zyko sitting around. Future Funk, yeah, there's another one. Ooh, there it is. Sounds good. Good. That is a Zyko, but with a lilac tile or lilac top, for what it's worth. Yeah, I am genuinely curious. Though, like where, because we are seeing a lot of recolor, like that's a good thing, honestly. Like if you're not going after these crazy, I know I said earlier that all these stem color things that are trying to match things, but we are getting more. I guess I didn't really know these were specifically made for Taro. So I guess maybe I think less of them now. I don't.
I mean, I don't think it's like 100% made for Taro. I think it's just
Here's
it's
a
made
fun
to be close,
color,
but it's
yeah.
also, I mean, if you think about it, purple and dark purple and light purple, it's something that fits with
a lot of things.
a lot of sets. Violet Tendencies, Moondust, First Love, Hyperfuse, like it can fit in with a lot of different switches. And then like Colt just said, the mauve was with Bingsu, but still, even that color, that's still a safer color.
Mhm.
Granted, because you're never really gonna see that stem.
So, but end of the day, I think we're what we're seeing. We're not seeing the lilac tiles, which to be confirmed or to be determined if they're just recolored. I mean, they haven't exactly said yes or no, so we don't know. But more switches, more different switches. My issue with recolored is that if they take something that already sells and then just recolor like a Gatoron ink, that's where I have kind of an issue where it's like, hey, koala switches, we recolored them. I'm like, cool. There were only like 400 koala switches to begin with, so I'm glad we're getting more. Like, so there it is. Willio, thank you for the sub. Everybody, Willio70, the birthday boy. Give him that birthday shout out.
The birthday boy is here. Thank you for the 6-month sub. We appreciate that. And then as Iwani, I don't know how to say his name correctly. We'll go with that. A1A. Says alpaca is nylon bottom and polycarb top, whereas the mauve is a full nylon housing. So that will definitely change the sound. It won't change the actual smoothness or anything if the bottoms are the same, but the sound, for instance, like a Zyko, right? The reason why it sounds the way it does is because of the panda top, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that switch from the Zeal top to the panda top is what really gives it that oomph on the return.
My apologies. I'm literally about to pee myself, so I will be right back. This usually doesn't happen, but I've drank a gallon.
While Chewy goes to the bathroom, we're gonna take a little detour. We're gonna go big. We're gonna go big Osiris right here. All right, guys. How does everyone feel about matching your stabs to your key set? If you didn't know right now, you can buy a the Key Company / Novel Keys Olivia ++ stabilizer kit, where you can get a rose gold housing with the dark gray inserts for $15. Pretty good deal, I will say, for what you get. $15 for a full stabilizer set. Chewy, we're talking. Let's go.
Stabs.
We're talking about the stabs. I'm gonna go back to Big Chewy. I think the coolest part about this, and Metallic Charles just brought it up, the recolored wire. The rose gold wire, to me, is the coolest part about this entire thing. What are your
So
thoughts?
cool, you'll never see it.
So cool, you'll never see it. But I mean, it's like,
it's cool.
You know it's there.
It's the. Hold on. I'm having lots of problems tonight, apparently.
Well, because
if you want your nudes, absolutely. Your keyboard nudes.
hashtag
they're
key
great.
butts.
Hashtag key butts. It's a thing. I need to post one tomorrow. I've been bad about that today. But we as a community, I guess, have decided that it's so important that to take pictures of your case without the caps on, that those need to be aesthetically pleasing, which to each their own, and by all means, go for it. Knock yourself out. It's releasing more stabs, and I just don't see the reason I'm like 100% okay with stabs is I don't see stabs like reselling on the aftermarket.
True. No one's like, come buy
I'm gonna
these
flip
stabs.
these stabs. It's
Although
like, cool.
this does open up that market, because this is a limited edition that could happen. You know, you could see $15, you get 6.25, 7U, and 6.2Us for $15. It's a pretty good deal.
I mean, it's a solid price for what you're getting. It's just funny to me that I'm like, here soon we're gonna start seeing the first flipped stabilizers.
But if you have something like think if you have like a polycarb board, like a Think 6.5 or something, or maybe one of the E6.5s, and you were able to get like a rose gold plate for it. You know, you can see your stabs there. You can see the wire.
Yeah.
Like, this does have a place in some of these builds.
Also, we just need more stabilizers, like, in general.
Yeah, that's also true.
Like, we just Cyrus and I guess I did get made. I forgot that the stabilizers. I got.
Oh yeah,
those
you have my purple stabilizers.
I have a bunch of purple. We got a bunch of the purple Duroc stabs. I think they're Duroc stabs, but they're fantastic. I've been using the clear ones from Prime KB, and they're my new favorite stabs. But we got the purple ones, and we had a discussion about the fact that they were purple, and I was just like, I don't care what the color they are. Like, they could be neon orange. Care. Now, I did pick colors that I appreciated whenever the C3 stabs came out, and I was like, oh, I'll pick blue and pink because I like those colors. But I didn't pick orange. But when it's like, hey, here's your only option, I'm like, okay, knock yourself out.
Yeah,
it's great for people who foam. There you go. I mean, yeah, and Colt, you are the person that these are targeting, and it's 100%. That's one of those things that's like, why I'm not gonna be a Captain Poopy Pants all over the party because some people want to color certain things. It's just one of those, like, you do you, I'll do me, and we'll respect that.
I just can't wait to see the board that is the Olivia Edition M60A with Novelias, with the Olivia ++ stabs, with Olivia on top of it. That is 100% Olivia.
All the Olivia.
All of the Olivia. And the
And the
Olivia
Olivia
cable. Yep.
desk mat, and spray paint your desk metallic rose gold.
Olivia rose gold colored 205 grade 0 for the staffs. Just put some metal dust in there.
I mean, who knows, man? Maybe food dye is like the perfect thing that makes lube even better. Who knows? I'm not going to try it, but I'm not responsible for someone who tries that.
But it is cool. It's taking the customization, like taking customization to the next level. You know, you can do whatever you want. This
I
community.
mean, that's what the whole thing's about. Making something yours.
Yeah. Like that was the, since we're talking about Olivia, that's the reason why Olivia ever existed, is because it was something that she wanted. And now it's become this like
thing
icon in the community, basically. Like it's probably hands down the most popular set to have.
Well, and if you're in
existed.
this community, and especially if you've been in since Olivia first came out, if you can't mention rose gold in this community without thinking Olivia. Like there's just no, it doesn't matter if she is super far away, from it. There's rose gold tofus. Oh, okay. Olivia had nothing to do with it, but it's rose gold. Yeah. So
Yeah.
smart to name her own set.
Marketing
branding,
genius. Plus, she's also
told
really
her-
cool too. Like,
Yeah,
she's awesome.
she's super fun to hang out with. We got to hang out with her in the NorCal meetup, where she slept through over half of the actual meetup, which I thought was hilarious.
But that's because we had a lot of fun doing karaoke
we
the
had
night before.
quite the amount of fun. But I said this a long time ago. First time on Keeb Talk, where she posted a not leak, but a teaser. She posted a teaser of Olive a long time ago, and I said you should have called Olivia. And I'm still mad that she didn't name it, because how funny would that be? Be like, Olivia? No, Olive.
Still think Olive is a good name for it, because it matched the olive branch and the actual olive little novelty keys.
So
it's great.
But other than that, I'm really excited for the Zeal clicky switch. I think we don't know a whole lot about it, other than it goes by the kind of the old school Alps leaf click, where the entire leaf. So when the bump goes, it's the leaf that's actually making the noise. It's not a bump. It's not a click bar. It's not a click jack. It's the leaf. And so it raises two questions and two insights about it. One, the best clicky switches right now are box switches, and box switches are a pain in the ass to lube. And they're harder to lube. There's more surface area touching. It's just overall, I've tried one board that did a good job. So in doing this, the speed switches, while they were fine, but they had some tolerance problems where they're very wobbly. And I tried lubing one, and I was like, fine, but at the end of the day, you're not really getting anything because it's just the click bar. And like, I guess maybe it's because I was expecting the lube to make a big sound difference, but the sound's only coming from the click bar. But it still made it smooth. But I'm excited to try them with lube. I'm excited to see, is the stem proprietary? Because that's what I'm most excited for.
Because to expand on that, if if it is not proprietary, you can do a lot more with it. Like you can create your own Frankenswitch and have something that's completely different feel. Really change the sound. And if this does go over well and the switches do work well, can we expand that from just clicky style to also doing the tactile leaves like from Alps?
Mm.
Is that something? Are we to the point where we could almost actually recreate an Alps brown in an MX style housing? Is that going to be possible?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Hopefully. But for now, Psychos will have to do.
True.
So yeah, because then you get the idea of like, man, a click bar inside, like if you swap the top and throw on a panda, like a click, you don't even have to worry about the stem. A click bar firing off inside of a housing that's not plastic. Well, plastic, but not Zeal's plastic, but like a nylon. In my opinion, I'm just like that. I'm so excited to try that. I will be, the second he does pre-orders, I'm buying 70, probably 80, so I have extras. Because I'm just it's just such a unique switch, and at the end of the day, one, there's Zeals. I can always just sell them if I don't want them, or two, they sound great and I get to use them as is, but it's proprietary, so I can't change them. Or three, they are everything I want them to tinker with them, and that's always fun. People, I mean, this is a hobby of tinkering people. If you can solder, then you're probably someone who likes to tinker. So
Yeah, and if you think about it, a lot of this innovation in switches over the last couple months directly stems from the tinkering that our boy Wakums did back in the olden days of keyboards and created the Holy Panda. Right?
You should ask Quakums about Quakums from Talk Clock. Just ask him about the Holy Panda. He loves talking.
But if that switch was not discovered, if that Frankenswitch was not discovered, I don't think we would be where we are in switches, because that, I mean, we might have a Zelio V2. I don't know if it would be the same way that it is now. But that was a big thing. It was meant to be a better or a direct competitor to the Holy Panda. And then we had the Panda craze of late last year into early this year. That really felt like it extended all the way into summer.
The Panda craze went from, which sucks because I feel like the Zelio V craze didn't happen.
It didn't have its heyday because
it didn't have it popped up right in the middle of the Jesus switches coming up and coming to light. But I mean, you can kind of throw them in there where it's like the world of tactiles was everything from the end of 2018 until, like, creams were good, but it wasn't until, I feel like it wasn't until inks came out that creams were even given as much respect as they deserve, because I feel like people, because their direct competitor was creams or Telios, but for the price range, creams. And so that's why you always kind of get those two switches hand in hand, because sound over smoothness, smoothness over sound, want. So, but yeah, it's funny that Zelio, like, just kind of were there.
Yeah, they just were like,
just chilling.
What's up? And everyone's like, pandas are back.
Pandas are back.
But no, it makes me wonder, like, what's next? What is the next Holy Panda? What is going to be the next switch that causes all these companies to kind of lose their minds trying to recreate it?
I think it's the Zelio. That is my personal opinion. Is that this Zelio changed a lot. Built a serious HHKB with creams over the weekend, dude. The palm on palm builds are.
Makes me. I'm gonna plug
We need to do a Keeb swap soon.
a Keeb swap.
Yankee swap. I need to get you my Fiel, my Austin. You can take to work and piss everybody off because it's a Holy Panda board.
I mean, I've been using my Zelio V2 OSA at work, which is not. It's not super super loud, but it's not the quietest board ever.
Mhm.
My Orange 75 has not had time on a desk for a little while now. It's been in its case, but I'm
Thoughts on Paco? Ooh, your boy can talk about Paco switches. So I built Paco switches, and they were in a board for probably close to 3 months. They sound awesome. They feel like Halo clears. It is a better sounding Halo clear. So if you get a Halo clear, click it. That's how it's going to sound or feel. It's just going to sound better. They can be a little. I think they can be. If you lube them up nicely, they can get pretty smooth. But they're more for the sound than they are for the actual feeling. And that's kind of personally, I think you're better off if you I guess. Okay, so here's the niche group of people that want this is for someone who wants likes the Holy Pandas but feels like it's just a little bit too tactile. Pacos, I think, are the way to go.
Yeah.
That is my opinion on Pacos.
Yeah, because I remember when I was looking at building, I think it was my TX60. You're like, you should just try Pacos because I that was gonna be my board for home. I was gonna game on it, and I didn't want to do pandas because I was like, it's just too much, right? Like it's just my fingers will get tired after a long, if I'm playing games for like 8 hours, fingers will get tired. She was like, try Pacos. I did. I really liked the way that they sounded and they felt good, but I was like, I'm just gonna use these Zelio V ones that I already have. But Pacos do sound great and they feel good, but it's not super super tactile. It's not that same experience that you get out of a Holy Panda.
So, but you do get to sniff them. So, for what that's worth.
Honestly, to me, I would rather just keep them as creams. Like,
yeah, that's that. I think that was what eventually made me to creams. Is I was like, I just want these as creams.
Yeah, and I think that's my thing with. As much as I love your creation, the Zyko switch, is I'm like, but I'm taking 2 switches I like and I'm making them not
ruining them.
Yeah, like I would feel less bad if I was still buying like original pandas, right? Like like the
which
actual
you can get OG pandas, right?
Really?
Yeah, Mastrop released in like 4 days they brought back the Halo switches, which is awesome, and the Holy Panda switch. So $70, $1 a switch.
Oh no, I mean like the linear pandas, like the
the Yoks.
Well, no, like well, sure. But like the actual first ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like cuz I like the trash pandas or the purple pandas.
Oh, yeah.
Or the Yoks, but I don't have any Yoks. All I have are actual Holy Pandas. I've got an entire box of Holy Pandas that are untouched. Or well, not untouched. They've been cleaned, but I have not used them at all.
Unsoldered. So anyway, so yeah, I guess if I could wrap up all of tonight, Lilacs are good. I think the Project Keyboards has them. Let's get that. Can you hit that link for Project Keyboards, or at least our sponsors link? I would go check them out if you like Holy Pandas. If you're looking for something, the Mauve switches, which are the linear switches, are sold. Lilacs are not. I would, if you like Holy Pandas, if you like tactile switches. Go check that out. Use our link. So I mean, yeah, First Love, it'll match. It's solid. I think, you know, I can't fully support them, but I bought them and I'm excited for them. So, but I think those are going to be great. I think recolored is not necessary, but it's good for the community that we're getting so many extra things out. And I think, at least personally, that if this Zeal clicky switch, there's a lot of potential to come from a lot of new to come from this one.
Yeah, and I think for me, I'm excited. I know the next couple times that I am buying switches from Novel Keys, I'm gonna maybe pick up 10 or 20 of some of the different like Everglide switches. Some of the ones that I haven't tried, some of these newer switches, just to try them out, just to see what they are, just to experiment with them. And I urge all of y'all to do the same thing. Grab some. You don't have to grab enough for a whole board. Just try them out, see which ones you like. You know, maybe you'll find out you like something, a different spring weight.
Ooh, so yeah, there's only 30 lilacs. Dang. Well, I can't imagine they're gone forever. As if they sold out in a few days, I don't think it would be a vendor side decision to not.
Yeah, I think they're wanting to keep them.
Coming in March, okay.
And then Cannon Keys does have
yes.
some.
So, if you guys have any questions for us, thoughts on switches, be sure to tag us in the chat. So I'm really excited. So I have a you know what it is, but it's a private TKL buy that I'm going to put the lilacs in. I think I'm going to do some testing. We'll talk. We've got Heine Bush on Wednesday, and I'm going to probably do some testing where I'm going to lube a few with 3203 and lube a few with 3204, and do my usual 78 gram spring swap. See how they take to some lube, and just kind of do my usual turnabout of switches. And I will get back to you on Wednesday of my thoughts. I have a feeling that I will like them enough to put them in a board. You know, it's kind of when you are in this hobby enough where you have multiple boards, you start kind of, I've talked about multiple boards with the same switch in them. And I don't know if I say that, but I have 2 Zyko boards. But you know, you don't want too many of the exact same switch. I've got 2 Holy Panda builds. One's got 74 gram, one's got 78 gram. And you know, I've got my 2 Zykos are different. They have one's 3203 just on the stem, one's 3204 on the housing as well. So that's why I was like, I was planning on just putting creams in it, and then I was like, well, I've got creams for another build that I really want to do, and I was like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity to try these. If I don't like it, I've got the creams ready for them. So, and then I'll just sell them or give them away. And I like them, so I'm not giving them away. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I'm trying some of the
mauve.
I think I have both coming, mauve and lilacs. The mauves might actually make their way into the they might actually make their way into the Baca.
The Baca? There it is.
I'm thinking about I was thinking about the other day, I'm thinking about changing it up. So I might, because my Baca plan has changed about 7 times. I kind of want to get it Cerakoted in olive drab.
Ooh.
and then desolder my ANSI, put the olives in there, and then maybe put the mauves in the Sirius.
Mhm.
So I can go full olive for the baka, have an olive baka, and then
I'm not gonna say no to you paint Cerakoting the baka green.
yeah, that's why I was like, Chewy would enjoy it being a green color, because the thing is when you got your KBD 8X, the Mark II, I did really like that color. I wish it was just a hint darker.
Yeah.
But I really like the olive drab color. So I'm liking that idea. I think that's a good idea. I think it'll look good with the brass, the kind of unfinished brass sandblasted.
You could because technically it is, yeah, it's raw, so
That is.
you could just re-anno it as well, but yeah. So if you guys, like I said, if you guys have any questions, sponsors really quick, polycarb box, maybe anything's possible. So anyway, real quick, Zap Cables makes the best cables in the business. He's got his Fruit Loops cables right now. So be sure to go check that out, as well as some other desk mats. We've got mechsondec.dixiemech.com. Be sure to go pick up GMK Modern Dolch Light. You can also be entered to win and be a part of the Dixie Dozen for you get 12 months of 20% off coupons that can be used towards GMK keycap sets. So be sure to check that out, as well as go fill out your brackets at Mech Madness. I think I've got the command. Yeah, you do. We do.
I got it. I'm on it.
Boom. Be sure to check those. Get those filled out. You do have 19 days. I would recommend spending a little time. Lots of stuff on the line. A free key colt, a Bauer that was in the Linus Tech Tips video. Lots of really good, high value stuff. Definitely spend some time. Delphin, dude, what's up?
The cool thing about that too is that you can literally win all 3 top prizes.
Yep.
If you are you are number 1 at everything, you get a key colt, a Bauer, the full set of brass keycaps, and then whatever the top prize is for desk mats. I'm not sure if I'm sure he's released it now, or maybe not.
I don't. Last time I checked it,
but still, so
That's
much
crazy.
that you can get.
So
much.
But next up, Project Keyboards. You can go get 30 Lilac switches, or you can pick up GMK at Perestroika. So it's an awesome set. I think there's a link to enter to win the Profit keyboard. If you get in on GMK Perestroika. So who doesn't like free stuff? Go check that out. It's a great set. And then last up, switchmod.net/mechsondeck will get you 4% off lube and springs and other things, as well as like the T60, which he still has a few of. And a GMK Metaverse is still running right now. You can use the promo code Chewy or the promo code Osiris with a 0 to get $5 off that.
Yeah, I'm just pushing these codes real quick.
Yep.
We will not be live tomorrow. We do not have a build. I was supposed to build something, but to be frank, I need some time to get some things done as a human, because I worked all weekend. It was my own fault, but I did work all weekend. Got to, wash clothes, go grocery shopping, the adulting things. But we will be back next week with a build on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we are back at 8 p.m. with Heinebush. So be sure to mark your calendars for that. Heinebush is a good dude. When Honeybush is
fun.
on stream, it's gonna get spicy.
Gonna get spicy
And
quick.
there's gonna be hot takes. Hot takes with Heine are coming on Wednesday.
And that's gonna be the name of the episode. So, but
adulting does suck, functional. Again, quick shout out to all the subs and the follows during the stream. We really, really, really appreciate it. It's helps us keep everything up and running.
yep. So let me check, see Anthony. Ooh, Anthony. We haven't rated him in a while. Did he just start? I'm sure he's probably sitting in the screen because that's what happened last.
Yeah, I know Anthony is streaming. I know Mentorly was streaming, as well as AP.
Apiary appears to be. All right, Anthony's there. We're gonna go head up to Godfather.
Godfather. The man of
So yeah,
many
check
opinions.
Check out Anthony. He's a good friend, a personal, an IRL service.
We will
So
be at
next-
KeyCon this year, Delphin. So if you're going to KeyCon, if you're thinking about going to KeyCon and knowing that we will be there makes you go, super stoked about that. I'll feel very honored if that's the case, but I don't think anyone's like, oh, Mechs on deck.
Oh, dude, Mechs on deck's there.
Oh my God. But no.
Unless they lived in Denver and planning. That's the only way I could see that actually being a thing is if someone was like, I don't really like keyboards, but I do live in Denver and I like these guys, which might be like a dog. So,
But yeah, no, we will be at KeyCon this year. We've already got that all taken care of. Well, kind of. We got to buy tickets and stuff, but we have committed to it.
we have the tickets to KeyCon.
Yes,
Everything
we have the
else-
tickets to KeyCon. We just
So-
have to figure out, the whole getting there and sleeping
Getting there and
portions.
staying there.
But other than that, we're good. We're going.
So check out Anthony 001 Anthony. He's a switch tester.
I know.